Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. Let's see, the first is a video out of Yuma, Arizona. Also got this from 2015 of a cylinder UFO over Albuquerque. This is a very interesting video about this guy who talks about alien technology and anti-gravity technology. And in this little clip that I'm going to show, apparently this guy here was a pilot and he took pieces of UFOs, I think, to Wright-Patterson. But on his deathbed, he admitted to his son that he had seen aliens. Let's see, this is a short clip of a possible Bigfoot sighting. Let's see, this is a very interesting clip about this little dude here. Some people are claiming that this is a complete hoax. He was apparently found in the Brazilian rainforest. And yeah, I mean, if you listen to this, you know, some people are trying to say that because of these lines on his face, that these are prosthetics, and because he had such a nice haircut, that you know, that this is a fake. And I mean, yeah, and then, you know, look at his hands. But anyways, we'll take a look at that. Let's see, I have this article here about mermen and aquatic humanoids reported in the Caspian Sea. A few weeks ago, I had done a video where a couple NOAA employees had submitted or had posted in Reddit that our government has encountered aquatic humanoids in the Marianas Trench. So this, you know, may be something related to that. Let's see, this is just a video about this lost city of Sigiriya, I think it's called. But I mean, this goes back to, you know, what I've said before about we have not been told, you know, the truth of our past, because, you know, places like this. But here, you know, you take a look at this entrance here, and look what, you know, someone way back in the past carved this into the rock. And again, we're supposed to believe primitive people, you know, did this. Ancient hunter-gatherers or Neolithic man using primitive tools. No, I'm not buying any of that crap anymore. Let's see. This last article here, new geological study shows that the Great Sphinx of Giza is 800,000 years old. Again, you know, this goes back to a lot of the quackademics who try to dispute, you know, these kinds of facts because they were taught something different, you know, or you know, some respected Egyptologist told them, you know, something different, or, you know, maybe they wrote a book about it. So, you know, so now, you know, they're kind of stuck with their belief that, you know, that the Sphinx is what, 5,000 years old or something like that. And again, and these guys are using the evidence that's based on the erosion, water erosion around the outside, which could only have happened during rainy season, you know, rains. But anyways, let me go to the beginning of this. Let's take a look at this video here from Reddit. This guy says, was driving from Yuma, Arizona to Phoenix.
Those are like 6 dots floating in the fucking sky right there, bro. I have no idea. What the fuck? Bro, like, look how bright that is. It's like a fucking sun. I don't know what those are. There was 6 of them. Now there's like 4 of them. 5.
How is this guy filming this so good while driving? Oh, I see. He's a graduate of the filmmaking school of vertical cinematography. That's it. That's why he's got this excellent camera work here. Let's see. Let me go to this one here. unknown craft or cylinder UFO over Albuquerque. Now, this happened in 2015. Let's go about there. Let's check this out.
See if we can bring this into focus here. I can. Let's try to find it again.
Yeah, this guy's not even a moving car, and that other dude had better camera working than this dude.
There we go. See how close I can get. This is all the way out. This is as close as I can get to this plane. Well, it looks like a plane anyway.
It's not a plane, dude. That's funny. Oh, yeah, that's a plane. See how people try to rationalize? Incredible. Let's see. Let me go on to this next video here. Yeah, there's a lot to this video. This is just part one. So let me just play you this part here. And this guy will introduce this gentleman here. Like I said, this guy here was a pilot on some of the planes that transported alien crash debris.
Some died in 2003 now. He lived in Fort Worth. He was the next door neighbor of an acquaintance of Holly mine who works for Lockheed. Colonel Harrison was a co-pilot on the first atomic bomb test dropped in Bikini Atoll. He received the Distinguished Flying Cross. He was a lifelong friend, as you can see here, of from the wartime days till he died, of the McCain family, Senator McCain and Admiral McCain. He also served as a special assistant to Admiral McCain at a very top-level security position. He's one of the guys that was truly a secret keeper, and he did it even from his son until the day that he died. As it turns out, Colonel Harrison was outside the back of his apartment, slipped and fell and hurt his head to the point that it was a cerebral hemorrhage. They took him to the hospital, and he lingered for a while, and his son was in there with him just before his dad died, and he said, "Dad, I've got to know, were the aliens real?" Because this guy was here at Roswell, and a number of paper trails led to his plane ID for having ferried parts back to Fort Worth and over to Wright Pat. And he turned to his son and he said, "All I will say is that they were real." And he died a few minutes later. So you have another witness, hearsay, but one of the kind that really counts because he was a very special fella. He flew the...
Okay, so yeah, that's all. I can't play the whole video, but the link will be in the description. Let me go on to this next video. Oh yeah, this is a possible Bigfoot footage. Now, it's two women who shot this, and the guy that's talking about this in the video, he mentions how this clip is so short, and that, you know, I mean, if you have an opportunity to shoot Bigfoot, why wouldn't you shoot more footage? And I kind of have to agree.
The trail she was on is called the Bighorn Peak, and
I don't want to play his commentary, but look at that. That's let me go back to that, because this is it. This is all you get. You get this clip being played over and over again. So, you know, because the clip is so short, some people think that this is some type of a setup, some type of hoax. And yeah, that's hard to argue. Like, why wouldn't you at least get a clip of them at least walking away or showing some more movement besides this this pose? But anyways, let me move on to the next. Yeah, the link to this will be in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, now this one here. Yeah, apparently this guy was found in the Brazilian rainforest, and people, you know, are saying that this is some elaborate hoax, and this is all prosthetics. But you know, I don't think during this period, because I'm going to assume based on the way these guys are dressed, late 30s. But anyways, yeah, I don't think people that back then could be that good at prosthetics. Now, as far as his haircut is concerned, you know, why isn't it possible that after they found him, they cleaned him up, right? I mean, obviously they gave him modern clothes, so is it a stretch that before they presented him to the public that they gave him a haircut? Anyways, let me just play a little clip of this.
In 2012, a series of photographs circulated throughout the internet and became an instant viral mystery. These photos showcased an ape man that was discovered in the Brazilian jungle. In the 1930s, a Dutch magazine featured these pictures and described the man as the missing link. It gained a little attention when it was published in 1937, but reached the entire world when it resurfaced in 2012. Millions of people saw the pictures on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit and began coming up with their own theories and speculations. Online users were intent on figuring out the mystery and proving it to be a hoax. Some were eager to believe it to be true, while others argued it was merely prosthetics and makeup that changed the man's face. The man in question was bent over as if he were walking like a monkey and had ape-like lips and a deep-set brow. His nose and ears were larger than most people, and in every photo he held his hands in fists, closing the knuckles. Scientists, historians, and online observers were quick to critique the pictures and point out obvious flaws in the hoax.
No, I don't think these are obvious flaws. I mean, again, this is the 1930s. There was no one that could do prosthetics like this in the 1930s, because if they did, they would have been working in Hollywood. And again, you can just go look at the type of special effects they were doing in the 1930s. It was definitely not this good. But, I would be very interested to find out how many chromosomes he had. Because, I'm sure most people know, right? Chimps and apes, and, any of the primates, they have 24 pair of chromosomes, where we hominids have 23 pair of chromosomes. Which again, and that goes to why I think even evolution is a hoax, because the notion that, a species with 24 pair of chromosomes could give birth to a species with 23 pair of chromosomes, where's that quote unquote missing link? Where's the transition species to go from a species with 24 pair of chromosomes to a species with 23 pair of chromosomes? Maybe this guy is it. Maybe this guy is the missing link. And I've also be interested to find out, actually I know I can see that he can turn his neck. Remember, chimps and apes don't have necks. They can't turn their necks the way humans can. If a chimp or ape wants to look behind them, they have to physically turn their entire chest, entire body around. Whereas, we humans can just turn our necks. Again, which lends me to believe that this notion that, we evolved from something, from a ape-like creature or a primate-like being is ridiculous. Anyways, let me go on to this article here. A merman and aquatic humanoids reported in the Caspian Sea. Yeah, a few weeks ago I had done a video about how some people, apparently a couple employees from the NOAA, posted in Reddit that our government has encountered aquatic humanoids in the Marianas Trench. So this is another article about these aquatic humanoids being encountered. Check this out. There have been recent rumors that the government of Iran has launched an investigation of the Runan Shah after several sightings of a merman by fishermen in the Caspian Sea. There has been recent interest in mermaids, and if there's a possibility in some capacity that these are actual living creatures. For several years, residents of coastal areas around the southern and southwestern Caspian Sea have been reporting of an amphibious creature resembling a human being. In March 2005, an eyewitness account from the crew of the Baku, an Azeri trawler, was published by Iranian newspaper Zindagi. That creature was swimming parallel course near the boat for a long time, said Gafar Ghassanov, a captain of the ship. At the beginning, we thought it was a big fish, but then we spotted hair on the head of the monster, and his fins looked pretty strange. The front part of his body was equipped with arms, said the captain. Back in Azerbaijan, nobody took his story seriously. It sounded ridiculous to those who thought that the guy must have been drinking while on board. On the contrary, shortly after the publication of this interview, the offices of the Iranian paper got flooded with numerous letters of the readers who claimed that the story was yet another piece of evidence proving the existence of the so-called man of the sea. The readers pointed out that many fishermen had repeatedly seen the strange creature at sea and on shore after the seabed volcanoes in the area of Balbocero had come to life in February, and offshore oil production operations had intensified in the Caspian. Well, yeah, this is a very long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the link will be in the description. And yeah, I think, more and more evidence is coming out that we are not alone on the planet. Now we know, right, that there are at least 4 different species of Bigfoot. Like we know that there are these giant creatures in low Earth orbit that are about 2 to 5 miles wide. Thousands of them floating around low Earth orbit in the X-ray or the infrared spectrum, right? There's a lot that we don't know about this planet and about things around us. I mean, sure, there are some people who do know, and slowly but surely, all of this information is coming out. But anyways, the link to this story will be in the description. Definitely check it out. Yeah, this is a example of the reality that our planet has been occupied by other advanced civilizations, right? And again, according to a lot of writings, we are like the 6th or 7th version of or a species on this planet. But anyways, let's check out a little bit of this video here.
Spectacular, awe-inspiring, spine-tingling and magnificent are just a few of the words that people have used to describe Sigiriya, an ancient city built on top of and around a giant granite outcrop that rises out of a plain in the remote region of Sri Lanka. Human occupation aside, this is a stunning natural geological wonder, but the fact the entire rock was turned into a palace adds another fascinating dimension to its beauty. It is located in the Matau district of the central province of Sri Lanka and was designated a World Heritage Site back in 1982. And although there has been a great deal of archaeological work at the site, much of it remains shrouded in mystery. Experts say the region has been inhabited since prehistoric times, due to the discovery of a rock shelter to the east of Sigiriya that displays evidence of human occupation at least 5,000 years old. Also, many of the rock shelters show clear evidence of once being occupied by Buddhist monks, and they date back to as early as the 3rd century BC, which is apparently older than the age of the ruins that we see on and around the rock. These ruins are believed to date back to the 5th century AD, when the brutal King Kassapa transformed the natural wonder into a palace, fortress, and pleasure garden.
The people in 500 AD, they probably encountered this. They found it and then they may have restored it, quote unquote, restored it, to the best of their abilities. But I believe, there's absolutely no evidence that people in the 5th century AD could do things like this. Look at this. Look.
And technology far more advanced than believed possible for the time. As the article says, the city layout combines concepts of symmetry and asymmetry.
Like I've said in some of my other videos, all right, this type of precision is not like you don't just wake up one day and, acquire the ability to have or to understand this type of symmetry and expertise. Right? And there was nothing around any of this to show that these people taught themselves this or, were practicing on how to make certain buildings. All of these ancient megaliths are intact, built perfectly, pretty much with no mistakes. And yet there is absolutely no evidence that any civilization progressed, right? Progressed to a point where they understood and had all of these skills and knowledge. But anyways, I have one more. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll leave a link to this video in the description. Definitely check it out. This last article here is about a new geological study that shows that the Great Sphinx of Giza is 800,000 years old. I know there's a lot of Egyptologists, right, who will dispute that, and only because they were taught something different. Somebody told them something different. Whereas, according to this article, it's these two Ukrainian researchers. They are basing this on fact, on the water erosion that's evident along the edges. Let me just read a few paragraphs of this. One of the most mysterious and enigmatic monuments on the planet's surface is undoubtedly the Great Sphinx at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. It is an ancient construction that has baffled researchers ever since its discovery and until today. No one has been able to accurately date the Sphinx since there are no written records or mentions in the past about it. Now, two Ukrainian researchers have proposed a new provocative theory where the two scientists propose that the Great Sphinx of Egypt is around 800,000 years old. A revolutionary theory that is backed up by science. Yes, backed up by science and not just based on belief. The authors of this paper are scientists Manichov, I'm not even going to try to say the last name, environmental geochemistry of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, and Alexander G. something, Institute of Geography at the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. The startling point of these two experts is the paradigm shift initiated by West and Schoch, a debate intended to overcome the orthodox view of Egyptology, referring to the possible remote origins of the Egyptian civilizations and on the other physical evidence of water erosion present at the monument of the Giza Plateau. Let's see, according to, let me make this bigger. According to Manichev and Parkomenko, the problem of dating the great Egyptian Sphinx construction is still valid despite the long-term history of its research. The geological approach in connection to other scientific natural methods permits answering the question about the relative age of the Sphinx. The conducted visual investigation of the Sphinx allowed the conclusions about the important role of water from large water bodies which partially flooded the monument with the formation of wave-cut hollows on its vertical walls. The morphology of these formations has an analogy with similar such hollows formed by the sea in coastal zones. The genetic resemblance of the compared erosion forms and the geological structure and petrographic composition of sedimentary rock complexes lead to a conclusion that the decisive factor of destruction of the historic monument is the wave energy rather than sand abrasion in the Aeolian process. Voluminous geological literature confirms the fact of the existence of long-living freshwater lakes in various periods of the Quaternary from the Lower Pleistocene to the Holocene. These lakes were distributed in the territories adjacent to the Nile. The absolute mark of the upper large erosion hollow of the Sphinx corresponds to the level of water surface which took place in the early Pleistocene. The great Egyptian Sphinx had already stood in the Giza Plateau by that geographical historical time. Yes, again, they are basing this on evidence, not on what some book told them or, what some venerated professor, taught them. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.